So we need to talk. There's this financial script, right? It's been handed down for generations. This idea that to be a successful adult, you have to buy a house. But what if? What if the math behind that old script is just broken? In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain on the whole rent versus buy debate. You've heard this a million times, I'm sure, from your parents, your grandparents, every real estate agent on the planet. It's the American dream, right? And we hear it so much that we actually start to feel kind of guilty about renting, like we're just failing at being a grown-up. Well, here's the thing, and it might be a little uncomfortable to hear. For millions of us in today's economy, that old script, it might be a total lie. The market is completely different now, and this blind faith in homeownership could actually be a trap. That's why we're going to look at the numbers, the real numbers, the ones the real estate industry really hopes you ignore. Okay, so to really understand this, we have to start by asking, what does throwing money away even mean? We all get it with rent, right? You pay for a roof over your head, it's a service. But what about owning a home? Turns out, a huge chunk of what you pay every month as a homeowner is also money you will never, ever get back. Let's just put it side by side. For a renter, the money you're throwing away is your rent check. Simple. But look at the owner's side. You've got mortgage interest, property taxes, maintenance, insurance. This is all money that is gone forever. It's functionally the exact same thing as rent. Let's break that down. First up, mortgage interest. And honestly, this chart should scare you a little. For the first several years of a typical 30-year mortgage, the vast majority of your payment, we're talking 75%, sometimes more, goes straight into the bank's pocket. You're not paying down your house. You are renting money from the bank. A tiny, tiny fraction is actually building your own wealth. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. Property taxes, that's just rent you pay to the government, forever. Maintenance, you can count on spending 1% to 2% of your home's value every single year just to keep it from falling apart. Then there's rising insurance costs and the huge transaction fees when you eventually sell. Add it all up, and you're not just paying a mortgage, you're paying a whole new set of landlords. The bank, the government, and the local hardware store. So, how in the world do you cut through all this noise and figure out what makes sense for you, where you live? Well, there is one simple, powerful number that can give you a huge clue. It's called the price-to-rent ratio. You can think of this basically like a PE ratio, but for houses. It's a super straightforward way to see if home prices in your city are totally overvalued compared to what it costs to rent. It basically tells you right now which one is the better financial deal. And the best part is, it's so easy to figure out. You just find the price of a house you might buy, and then you divide that by what it would cost to rent a similar place for a whole year. So for example, a $500,000 house that rents for $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 a year, has a price to rent ratio of about 20.8. So what do you do with that number? Well, the general rule of thumb is this. If the ratio is under 15, buying probably makes more financial sense. If it's between 15 and 20, it's kind of a toss-up. But if that ratio is over 20, the math is practically shouting at you to rent. And in a ton of major cities right now, these ratios are hitting 25, 30, sometimes even higher. It's a no-brainer. Okay, so we've talked about the monthly costs, but there's an even bigger, kind of invisible force at play here. This is probably the most powerful financial argument against buying a house, and it's something almost no one talks about: opportunity cost. Okay, picture this. You've worked your tail off, you've saved up $100,000 for a down payment. That is a massive achievement. Seriously, you should be proud. And now you're ready to make that smart move and buy a house. But the second you write that check, that money is gone. It's not working for you anymore. It's literally trapped inside the walls of your house. It's not earning interest, you can't access it easily. It's what we call dead equity. And this is the hidden cost of homeownership that can be absolutely devastating to your wealth. Because what if instead of trapping that $100,000 in a house, you just invested it? Let's say in a simple S&P 500 index fund. Based on historical averages, that money would double about every 7 years. You'd be giving up all that incredible growth for a single asset, your house, that historically barely even keeps up with inflation. So this leads us to a totally different strategy for building wealth. It definitely takes discipline, but it can lead to way more financial freedom. I like to call it the path of the sophisticated renter. Look, by renting and then investing the difference, that is, your down payment and what you save each month, you get some huge advantages.
Your money stays liquid, you can actually get to it. You're diversified across the whole economy, not just betting your future on one single house in one single neighborhood. And maybe best of all, you have freedom, the mobility to just pick up and move for a better job or a better life without the nightmare of selling a house.
Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. This is the #1 argument against renting long-term, right? My mortgage is fixed, but rent just goes up and up forever. And you know what? It's a fair point. But it's only half the story.
The truth is, homeowners are not safe from inflation. Not at all. Sure, your principal and interest payment is fixed, but your property taxes, your insurance, maintenance costs, they absolutely go up over time, sometimes by a lot. Meanwhile, our Smart Renters investment portfolio is growing at, say, 7 to 10% a year. That is your real hedge against inflation, and it will almost always crush the 3% or so that your rent goes up each year.
So where does that leave us? It means we need to totally change how we think about the house we live in. We have to stop seeing it as our #1 investment. Here's the new mindset. Treat buying a house like you treat buying a nice car. Seriously, it's a lifestyle choice. It's a purchase that gives you comfort and a place to live. It is not a guaranteed retirement plan. When you put all your eggs in that one basket, you're creating a portfolio that is risky, expensive, and incredibly hard to get your money out of. Real, lasting wealth is built by owning assets that put money in your pocket. Things like stocks, bonds, businesses. A house, with its constant demand for mortgage payments, taxes, and repairs, is an asset that is constantly taking money out of your pocket. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. When you actually run the numbers for yourself, when you calculate all those unrecoverable costs and that huge opportunity cost, you have to ask yourself honestly, by buying this house, am I really building my own wealth? Or am I just signing up to pay a different set of landlords for the next 30 years? The math might really surprise you. I'm curious, what's the price to rent ratio like where you live? Is it crazy? Let me know down in the comments. And if this made you think a little differently about that old financial script, do me a favor and hit subscribe for more deep dives just like this one.